there? You're welcome to ICT Watch, one of the most informative and authoritative IT show on TV. And my name is Tayo Adebusi. You're welcome. Nigeria at 50. Africa Digital Forum and ICT Watch Africa Digital Awards 2010 is here. The African Digital Forum is designed to discuss the growth, potentials and challenges of African digital opportunities, while ICT Watch Africa Digital Awards is to identify, appreciate and honor corporate organizations and individuals who have contributed in no small measures towards the accelerated development and rapid expansion of information and communications technology (ICT) industry in Africa. With the theme Nigeria at 50, the knowledge economy, challenges and prospects. Keynote address by Dr. Eugene Jua, host Babatunde Raji Fashola, chief host Professor Dora Quinley and Professor Mohamed Kauje, guests of honor Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, Alhaji Aliu Akwedoma, special guest of honor Right Honorable Dimeji Bankole, chairman of the occasion Alhaji Bamanga Tuko. Venue Sheraton Hotel and Towers, Ikeja, Lagos. Date Friday, November 26, 2010. Time 6 p.m. prompt. For inquiries and participation, please log on to www.ictwatchnetwork.com or call the coordinator on 08055001898. Africa Digital Awards 2010. You deserve to be celebrated. Today on this special Independence program, we will be looking at Nigeria at 50. Our searchlight will be on Nigerian Communications Commission. The story so far, especially in the last 10 years, that has brought about what is now referred to as the telecom revolution. Join us.
Nigeria at 50. The Nigeria Communications Commission, a giant leap.
Much progress has been made in the communications industry. This has still far from our destination.
The positive impact made in the country is so enormous that it's difficult to quantify. The reverberating effect on other sectors of the economy due to the rapid development of telecommunications cannot be quantified.
I think for the future, the commission, the new commission, and the new management will have to begin to review and try to put policies that will guide the commission over the next 10-year period.
If I have been successful in the NCC, it is because I had Ahmed Jordan as chairman. The nation still requires a lot of us to commit to selfless service to this nation. And I enjoy all of us to try and do whatever we can to continue to improve the fortunes of this country. Because there is still a lot of work to do. And I am available.
We know that many Nigerians wish to enjoy affordable and qualitative service in the Nigerian telecommunication network, and we shall strive to achieve those as quickly as possible. We know the industry expectations will be with us broadband internet services across the country, and we will pursue this to its logical conclusion.
The Nigerian Communications Commission, established November 24, 1992, under the 1975 decree, began its operation in a rented apartment in Victoria Island, Lagos, before moving to Abuja, also into a rented apartment, and subsequently into its multi-million naira building, which is a mark of progress. Back in the year 2000, no one could talk about availability of telephone services, let alone about success in the industry. Today, however, the story is different. From 400,000 working lines, Nigeria can now boast of over 75 million subscribers, thus making the high status attached to telephony become a thing of the past.
10 years ago when I was appointed, all I knew that I was going to do was to help shape the destiny of the country as far as communications industry is concerned. First of all, the brief I got on resumption of duty was that the federal government, under the new democratic dispensation at that time, was anxious to embark on what was called sector reform. And it was also very serious business that time, because the federal government had set up what they call Telecom Sector Reform Implementation Committee that was chaired by the then Minister of Communications. And the mandate of that committee was to come out with those things that were necessary to ensure an improved communication landscape in Nigeria.
It started from a keenly contested telecoms auction, adjudged to be one of the best in the world and the best ever in Africa in the area of transparency. Since then, the growth in the industry has remained unstoppable, as it has permeated all sectors of the economy, from banking and advertising through marketing to governance. The growth has been phenomenal.
So it was clear that the government was very anxious to make a change. And I count myself privileged that I was selected among many to head the Nigerian Communications Commission at that time. So obviously what we knew and what we set out to do was to improve telecom. What we knew was that telecom services were at a level that did not befit this country. And there were just 400,000 lines that were working. Most of the lines were in government offices. A few, perhaps less than 50%, were in private homes. Most of the lines were either in government offices or in private companies and big corporates. And a lot of dependence was on fixed line, and the analog mobile services at that time hardly had up to 25,000 people who were connected to it. So obviously there was a big task to develop the telecom industry and move the sector forward. I must confess that none of us dreamt that the explosion will be this fast and that we will be talking about 76 million connected lines by today. Of course, when you had 400,000 lines, you were aiming for something like 6 million lines after 3 to 5 years, and then further growth. And it looked like a major aspiration at that time. And the blueprint, if I may summarize it in one sentence, is the need to change the status quo and to create an enabling environment to allow private sector investment to come into this sector and unleash the potential that this country had. It was a 10-member board, and I can tell you today that none of the board members, even one, had an interest in any of the companies that were coming to bid for this license. We all decided that nobody should show interest in any company. So that gave us a free mind and an undiluted attention to follow the rules to the letter and make sure that the auction was successful. And that's how it came out the way it did. Because if any of us was compromised at any time, perhaps we will start looking at how to bend the rules in order to suit one person or the other.
Ownership of mobile phones now cuts across the various social classes, opening up great opportunities for e-banking, e-health, e-security, e-education, and so on in the country. The growth in the telecom sector has resulted in the creation of over 12,000 direct jobs, with hundreds of thousands also informally employed through the sector. Today, the sector is a key contributor to the gross domestic product (GDP), and the percentage share from the telecom sector rose from 0.06 in 1996 to 2.39 in 2007 at 1999 basic prices. At the rate of network growth, Nigeria has since 2008 become the nation with the largest number of connected lines in Africa, as attested to by Alton President Adebayo Gbenga.
I remember in the beginning where we were. The tenor brought telecom to a position of relevance. The telecom, which hitherto was seen as elitist, has become the first means of contact with many Nigerians. And today, one of the most functional public infrastructure that we do have. Without the independence of our regulator, success ahead is very doubtful. We would like to call on government at all levels to ensure the sustenance of the independence of the industry regulator.
However, the nation's performance in the area of internet and broadband penetration is not as high as that of telephony, but huge and visible efforts are ongoing at facilitating a more rapid development of Nigeria's data capability by promoting large-scale broadband internet deployment and aggressive fiber optic rollout across the country. With the Unified Access Service Licenses (UASL) and the 3G licenses, the Nigerian Communications Commission facilitated the phenomenal expansion of telephone lines in the country. In addition, the NCC licensed several internet service providers, ISPs, and has further encouraged the spread of its access by initiating a licensing regime to simplify authorization processes for the rollout of cybercafes and telecenters. The Nigerian socio-economic landscape has been greatly transformed and has had positive impact on virtually all facets of life in the country. Titi Omwetu is President ATCON.
1999 and now, what we have done is to have opened up the industry. From now on, we expect that we will now begin serious regulation. Yes, we have opened up the industry. We have now made people to see that there is business to do in telecommunications.
The telecom boom has resulted in greater usage of internet technology, growth and availability of cybercafes, increased internet provision by ISPs and PTOs, increased communications services such as mobile telephony, email, voice over IP, a digital telephone service that uses the public internet as well as private backbones instead of the traditional telephone network.
Government needs to do more in that particular area. One thing that I can easily identify as a cost to that is the fact that when technology is converging, information technology and telecommunications are converging into one unit, its administration in Nigeria has not converged. We have separate administrative entities regulating each aspect of this. So it creates some level of impedance to administration. For example, NCC is regulating telecoms. NITDA is managing information technology. MPC is managing broadcasting. Broadcasting, telecoms, information technology are converging. The technology is converging. On your telephone today, you can you can make telephone call. You can watch television on your phone. And on some televisions, You can send the internet and you can make phone calls on one single device. So the technology is converging. So why are we separating the entities that managing them and the links to government to put NCC and NTDA under the same ministry and to match NCC and NDC together as a single body?
Telecom business is the fastest growing sector in Nigeria. The growth of telecoms in Nigeria has exceeded all estimates and forecasts. Indeed, the question has not been where the demand is, but instead, how to meet the demand. Another landscape achievement of the revolutionary leadership of Engineer Ernest Ndukwe is the setting up of the Digital Bridge Institute, DBI, in 2004 to take care of the need of the ICT industry. Professor Akule is the president of the Digital Bridge Institute, DBI.
The DBI was actually set up specifically to train skilled workforce to support the very booming telecommunications industry in Nigeria. They noticed that yes, the telecom industry is booming, but there is not a corresponding human resource support for that industry, and that is why. And the name, you can see, appropriately reflects what we do, Digital Bridge Institute. The idea really is to train people who have already come out of our universities, but who do not have the requisite skills to really work in the telecom industry in a practical way. So we emphasize that specific, we emphasize the practical aspects of training, whether it is in telecommunications, in information technology, or in the emerging multimedia industries. Already in the process with the Nigerian Universities Commission to transform into the Digital Bridge University. That would allow us, in addition to doing the things we are doing, which is industry-focused training for professionals, to also cater to the needs of people who want to acquire degrees. Okay, right now already we are already offering degrees, but in conjunction with two Nigerian universities, the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and Othman Danfodio University in Sokoto. So people start from DBI, but end up in one of those two universities by mutual agreement, obtaining the degrees of those universities in the area of telecommunications engineering or information technology master's degrees. We also have, as I'm speaking to you, a similar arrangement with a UK-based university, London Metropolitan University.
The fact that telecommunication infrastructure remains one of the major issues affecting technology deployment required for growth and development in Nigeria today is not in doubt. There has, however, been massive improvement in infrastructure over the past few years. Nigeria has certainly left the telecom state where there were only a few dial-up email providers and internet service providers, ISPs. In essence, it is the combined activities of Nigeria's telecom providers, GSM, FWA, PTOs, telephony, and VSAT operators and NCC's regulatory efforts that have led to increased competition and availability of a wide range of voice, data, and internet applications and services. The improvement in the telecom situation in Nigeria has made significant impact on all sectors: commerce, social and educational, and even in the rural areas. With the appointment and the swearing in of the new NCC board, the task before Dr. Eugene Jua, the Executive Vice Chairman, EVC, is how to sustain the growth recorded in the past years and even surpass it. For Dr. Jua, it's time to move to the next level.
In the pursuit of our mandate, we pledge to uphold the principles of transparency, due process, accessibility, dialogue, consultations, openness, fairness, firmness, and forthrightness.
Your board has the unenviable task of taking the flight to a new level. That new level is one of reduced tariffs by operators, SIM card registration, number portability, and improved quality of service. Nigerians deserve the best. It is about better consumer education and the use of regulatory tools to move operators to focus attention on the sharing of infrastructure and co-location of services.
As many telecoms analysts put it, the appointment of Dr. Eugene Jua is a major demonstration of the commitment to the continuous growth and stability of the sector, as Dr. Jua is a round peg in a round hole. It is in the light of this that many are optimistic that the Nigeria telecoms industry will continue on a growth path.
Nigeria at 50. Africa Digital Forum and ICT Watch Africa Digital Awards 2010 is here. The African Digital Forum is designed to discuss the growth, potentials, and challenges of African digital opportunities, while ICT Watch Africa Digital Awards is to identify, appreciate, and honor corporate organizations and individuals who have contributed in no small measures towards the accelerated development and rapid expansion of information and communications technology (ICT) industry in Africa. With the theme Nigeria at 50, the knowledge economy, challenges and prospects. Keynote address by Dr. Eugene Jua, hosts Babatunde Raji Fashola, Chief Host Professor Dora Akunyili, and Professor Mohamed Kauje. Guests of honor Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, Alhaji Aliu Akwedoma. Special guest of honor Right Honorable Dimeji Bankole, Chairman of the occasion Alhaji Bamanga Tuko. Venue Sheraton Hotel and Towers, Ikeja, Lagos. Date Friday, November 26, 2010. Time 6 p.m. prompt. For inquiries and participation, please log on to www.ictwatchnetwork.com or call the coordinator on 08055001898. Africa Digital Awards 2010. You deserve to be celebrated. Well, I hope that we have been able to serve you from the archives about NCC, and soon we will be bringing to you other agencies and parastatals in ICT. Nigeria at 50. Africa Digital Forum and ICT Watch Africa Digital Awards 2010 is here. The African Digital Forum is designed to discuss the growth, potentials, and challenges of African digital opportunities, while ICT Watch Africa Digital Awards is to identify, appreciate, and honor corporate organizations and individuals who have contributed in no small measures towards the accelerated development and rapid expansion of information and communications technology (ICT) industry in Africa. With the theme Nigeria at 50, the knowledge economy, challenges and prospects. Keynote address by Dr. Eugene Jua, hosts Babatunde Raji Fashola, Chief Host Professor Dora Akunyili, and Professor Mohamed Kauje. Guests of honor Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, Alhaji Aliu Akwedoma. Special guest of honor Right Honorable Dimeji Bankole, Chairman of the occasion Alhaji Bamanga Tuko. Venue Sheraton Hotel and Towers, Ikeja, Lagos. Date Friday, November 26, 2010. Time 6 p.m. prompt. For inquiries and participation, please log on to www.ictwatchnetwork.com or call the coordinator on 08055001898. Africa Digital Awards 2010. You deserve to be celebrated. And that's our package for today. So I ask you to please join us on this program, same time, same station. I'm yours in IT, Tayo Adebusi. Bye-bye.